What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants. No hate. All right, I want to talk about something a little bit different right now. And I want to get this out. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. And I said, you know what? Let me just get this done while I have the time to do it. And I'm feeling it right now. So, you guys saw the thumbnail. Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall. Why won't Jon Jones fight Tom Aspinall? So, I found something very interesting, right? I read an article that was published today or yesterday. I saw it yesterday and it was published yesterday and I read it today. Jon Jones was being interviewed and he basically, in that interview, I don't know if it was a question, but in the interview, it just stated that he made the comment, the one fighter that he would not fight at heavyweight is Daniel Cormier, who doesn't even fight anymore. The dude commentates. He says, if I fought Daniel Cormier at heavyweight, I'd be giving him a size and strength advantage. He's a special fighter. So why would I do that? I'd be giving away too much. I know my fans don't want to hear me talk like that, but that's just me being a realist. Okay, so I said on that note, the fact that you came out and admitted that, why can't you give a reason as to why you won't fight Tom Aspinall? Like a reason, not some weird excuse. Why? This is the same guy that said he was willing to fight Francis Ngannou. You'd be giving up size and strength on him as well. But at the same time, you feel like Daniel Cormier could come back, get himself in shape, get right, and all of a sudden, now, heavyweight. We know you hold 2 wins over him already, right? And at the end of the day, you had no problem saying that. But Tom Aspinall being an interim champion, here's my thing. If you guys are going to keep saying, I'm the best, I don't care what sport you're in. I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm that guy, nobody can beat me. But then you turn around and you won't fight another guy that's in your division that's viewed as the best or second best, the biggest threat to you. Somehow we won't fight. I feel like Jon Jones is in his Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford bag. I do what I want, and I'm Mexican. Right now, I'm at the point in my career, I do whatever I want. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what they think. Fuck them. And I feel like that's exactly the mindset that Jon Jones had. He's obviously worried that he may lose to Aspinall. Then I'm not making the same money anymore. My title reign is over. I'm no longer that guy. There's something about Tom Aspinall that he obviously sees, and I doubt that it's, oh, he's just not good enough or not ready. See, if you go and you beat Tom Aspinall, of course there'll be another challenger. Of course there will. But for any fighter, I'm saying, what's the purpose of holding on to a title? Just to hold up the division, be selfish, be greedy, so you can make top dollar. But now, I look at what I've done in the past. I've done so much, I got the right. No, you don't. This is when you have that right. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what sport it is and who the hell you are, what you've done. Let the belt go. Then you can fight whoever you want. Then you can play that pick and choose game. Why? Because you're no longer holding up the division. But as long as you hold the title, you're in that top position. I like Jon Jones as a fighter. Jon Jones has always been a very deadly guy. You know, what's his record? He's 28 wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest. Tom Aspinall, 15 wins, 3 losses. 11 wins by TKO or knockout, 4 wins by submission. What's the problem? What's the problem? I really hope that one fighting championships don't get to that point. I hope the PFL doesn't get to that point. Hopefully the UFC will fix this problem, because this is something that you felt like you never had to worry about watching these other sports, because boxing has been infested with this nonsense for the longest, right? Won fighting championships. I love their format and their setups. And, once you start fighting for like multi-millions of dollars, once the bigger the money get, this is where the politics come in. This is where things just change for the worse. I'm not knocking anybody for getting their money, and I understand what the situation is. But you know what? The same way that you admitted you wouldn't fight Daniel Cormier at heavyweight because you're given too many advantages, I'm just saying that will make people that saw that article, at least, or even people who didn't see it, is still wanting to know why. But two, that would definitely make them say, okay, then you must be afraid that you'll lose to Tom Aspinall the same way, because you won't fight the guy. Holding on to the belt, saying I'm still the best, but fighting lesser opponents. And he even said, yeah, anybody can lose. Of course, we know that. But at the same time, it's like, I'm just going to milk this belt as long as I can, and I'm just going to fight lesser opponents as long as I can get away with it. And then guess what? When my time ends, it ends. That's not good for the sport, though. And this is where, once again, unless an opponent is, hey, man, look, you have to defend this fight, this title against this guy, you're being stripped. When there's no consequence, this is what you're going to get. And, hey, man, listen, this is a fight that should have happened, and it's not happening. And Jon Jones is well respected in the sport, and I'm pretty sure there's people I already know, because I've heard people say it. There's people that want to make excuses for him. Those same Terrence Crawford, same Canelo Alvarez excuses. Hey, man, he's done so much that, hey, right now, hey, he can just do what he wants. What do you mean? So then basically everybody else must just wait for their turn, meaning whoever he doesn't want to fight, let's wait till he retires. We'll just keep fighting, and hopefully we don't lose, because then it's like, well, you missed your shot, and he doesn't want to fight you anyway. I mean, we've had this conversation when it comes to Joseph Parker in terms of how the politics, Joseph Parker keeps winning. You're going to talk about a guy winning 3 fights. Joseph Parker's won 6. But yet, he has to just keep waiting and hope for a title shot. No wonder the UFC has lost their shine. No wonder the UFC is in a position. It's not in the same position it was before. And you see what happens when they talk about success, when you jack your prices up, your pay-per-views, your tickets, everything, your merchandise. Yeah, our profits. This is all these companies are focused on, being the next multi-billionaire. Everybody wants to be super rich, but the product sucks. I'm going to be real with you. I don't even really know a lot of these fighters that's in the UFC right now. I lost my interest in the UFC, where I watch MMA and I'll check it out and I'll watch here and there. But I've been watching a whole lot of one fighting championship. That's what I really watch. I really like what they got going on. I see the PFL here and there as well. I used to be heavily into the UFC. And this is part of what I'm saying, how you lose interest in something when you start to see the politics, man. It's really not something that you want to see. And you have fighters that will leave the UFC and end up going somewhere else. Fighters come from PFL or another organization and come to the UFC, and it's all this pick a side. We don't care about this, we don't care about that. I don't care what you've done. Oh, you haven't proven anything. It's always a pick and choose thing, and I'm seeing the UFC have the same things, starting to be plagued by the same things that boxing is being plagued by. And it is what it is, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I just know when the time comes where you just one day you're watching something and you find yourself turning the channel and it's like, okay. And that's where I'm at with the UFC right now. Hey, man. Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones, there's no reason that this fight should not happen. And there's nobody bigger than the sport. There's nobody that should be treated where they can just do what they want. Like I said, let the belts go. Then you guys can do this. I can fight who I want. Like I said, because you're no longer holding up the division at that point. And then fighters that really want to get in there and fight and make their mark, just like you got an opportunity to make your mark. But this is what happens when politics and greed takes place. And in this case, yeah, some fear has to be there. You can't admit of not wanting to fight one guy because fear of losing. But then a guy and this guy doesn't even fight anymore. Now you have an active guy who is considered the most dangerous guy next to you or along with you. And for some reason, you don't want to prove it. Well, hey, man, it is what it is. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.